Well, here's another new one by the guy that calls himself the Research Guys, which he actually doesn't do any real research as any scientific knowledge would know of it. In this one, he's going to try to take Henry Louis Gates, a man who has prided himself in trying to find people's ancient ancestry, white people and black. It might surprise you to know that a lot of people can't go past their grandparents or great-grandparents and lose it also. And quite often they can find something about it. But I want you to see how twisted blacks try to take information and say something that's totally against what's actually being said at the moment. Let's listen.
All right, since y'all always saying we need to take a DNA test to prove that we're indigenous, watch Ruth Simmons on Finding My Roots. Watch this.
Your family, that you had any Native American ancestry?
Yes.
Well, look at Africa, Ruth. What do you see in Africa?
I see nothing.
Yeah, it's a big blank spot on that. What is this? This is the DNA, checking her mtDNA, the female component in her ancestry. And it's blank on this map in Africa, but it's showing something way up in the far northeast area, and that's a connection to the Amerindians that went across into Americas. Just looking at this woman, the slight amount we were able to do so, or go back and watch this again, you can tell she's got some type of Amerindian look to her in her admix, and of course her skin is way lighter than this guy that's here. But now pay attention to what Henry Louis Gates says about the fact that he finally found a black person that actually did have Amerindian DNA.
Africa is a big blank continent on this map. What this means is that you are the only person whom we tested who actually descends from a Native American female.
The only person that they've ever tested. There are lots of blacks that are making these claims nowadays. They're usually scared to even check their DNA because it'll show little to none. And of course, if it's a touch of admix in you and you're still a Negroid, then that proves the fact that that didn't work the way that you're trying to pull off. And if you have admix from Amerindians, it still doesn't mean you are the Amerindians. Now, does it? But a part of her component is, does she legally have the ability to claim she's an Amerindian? Well, partially, but then there's also the other half of it that has nothing to do with Amerindians. This is the guy on the left, or Gates himself, which he has shown repeated times. And you can watch his show where they talk about Amerindians and all these famous black people like Morgan Freeman and so many others, trying to claim that they had Amerindian blood in them, that they've got a picture of their great aunt and she had that good hair, y'all, therefore what they thought of it. And when he tested all of them, as he goes through it on the show, he goes, nope, 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 nope. And he lets you know there too, it's really quite a rare thing. In fact, when he did it to Chris Rock said, oh, I guess they didn't really like the brothers, huh? It's amazing. Watch what Gates says about this again. The only one he's ever found.
Wow, it's very powerful.
You actually the only black person I know whose great-great-great-great-grandmother was a Cherokee princess.
Again, he tells her, you're the only black person we've ever tested through all of these testing that actually has a hookup to the Amerindians. Therefore, blacks don't have any hooks up to the Amerindians. But amazingly, what you'll see this black guy try to do here, or apparently calls himself a researcher, is say because they finally did find one that was admixed by Amerindians, this means Negroids were never in West Sub-Saharan Africa. They were always in America. See, they were the original Amerindians. I know that flips in your brain to where you're like, what? And everybody else says that too. In fact, Henry Louis Gates himself says, nope. But watch what he's going to try to say after finding out that she's the only one they've ever found.
You see that? She was indigenous.
You see that? There was one that was indigenous. Therefore, it proves the fact that blacks aren't from the Americas in any way, as if anybody had to prove that. But apparently in blacks, they need to be shown that, no, this is another lie by you. No, this is another lie by you. Just like whenever we look through the Egyptian DNA, there's no Negroid in there whatsoever. In fact, they don't show up until after post-Roman times. And that's what makes the population not exactly like the ancient Egyptians were, who are more related to ancient Anatolians and modern-day Europeans. Says it straight in the genetics right there. But that's something I've been trying to show you from way back when I first did a series on Aryans and their connection to certain people, and then I took it to Egypt and said, well, what do you think about this? And of course people were da-da-da-da. So I did the part 2 that was more revealing, and here's all these blue-eyed statues. Here's all these blue-haired people and stuff like that. Here's a couple of genetics tests that I've already done that relate to that same thing. People of modern Europe or ancient Anatolia and so on. Of course, that was a little bit sloughed off till they just came out with a whole thing on the idea of exactly that's what the name of the paper shows. Yeah. Quite revealing. But are West Sub-Saharan primitives the Amerindians? Of course not. That's just another jealous lie. Believe it or not, I've got another one of this guy right here trying to pull up Flava Flav, if you know who that is, and say that he was an Amerindian also. I've said it now because I don't know if I'll pull up one about it. It's really just boring and tasteless, actually. But onward to the next one, guys. Let me know what you think down below. We was not the Amerindians. Gates just said it, but then he tried to turn it to that meaning that we was. How's that working for you?